It may take weeks to investigate two Texas football players who intentionally rammed into the back of a referee. Today we learned a possible reason why the high schoolers did it. Fox 4's Sean Rabb joins us from the Dallas newsroom with the latest. Sean.
Steve, those two defensive backs that plowed into the official suspended right now from the team and school. They'll have a disciplinary hearing. The incident considered an assault on a school official, an incident that may have been sparked in part by what adults, not student athletes, may have said. This is the video that's been viewed more than 5 million times since Saturday. Two high school players blindside an official.
The incident is shameful to us, and yet in no way does it reflect what we stand for.
What could happen in the heat of battle that could lead to this?
There's really three layers we're looking at.
John Jay players say racial slurs were directed at them by the umpire.
There's questions on that, obviously, but we agree to the officials' chapters that calls these games, and we entrust them to do a great job for us.
The players reportedly frustrated by what they felt were bad or missed calls all game, including the play we don't see right before the referee is taken down.
Was the umpire involved in any of the controversial calls, the calls that the coach or the players felt were unfair to Jay?
I can't speak to that completely, but my understanding of it is yes, he was.
And a John Jay assistant coach allegedly said to players on the sidelines, that guy, referring to the umpire, needs to pay for cheating us, or words to that effect, before the ref was blindsided. He's been placed on administrative leave.
That's not something that you tell young men that are out on the gridiron that their adrenaline is flowing.
State Senator Royce West carried the legislation that makes it criminal for parents to attack referees. West says the two student athletes need to be held responsible.
But what we shouldn't do is suspend them for the rest of the year or for the rest of their athletic career. It should be a teaching moment, not only for those students, but for athletes around the country, that you can't do that.
And after last week's craziness, that school district has no plans to cancel John Jay Mustang's football season.
Those kids are going to circle the wagon. They're going to come closer. That's the value of athletics. Through adversity, it teaches endurance and it teaches values.
And Steve, the UIL State Executive Committee will hold a special meeting tomorrow morning about what happened in the last few minutes of that football game last Friday. Now, that committee could impose sanctions far greater than what the school district has put in place.
All right. Some of the allegations, Sean, if the coach said something on the sidelines, there might be a lot of players who heard it and could talk about it, and that might be able to be run down. But the official on the field, that'll be hard to run down, won't it? Or are there some avenues they can look at?
Well, here's what I'm thinking. They're going to have to talk to a lot of players on the field to see who heard what. And the reason they're interested in this is because it's not typical for a 16, 17-year-old kid to quote-unquote play the race card and said, hey, he threw a racial slur. Adults might pull that out, but maybe not a kid. And because these teenagers are saying that in their anger and frustration, coupled with what they thought were bad calls all night long, they have to investigate that, talk to that official as well, and whether they have investigative powers that include subpoena, meaning under oath, I don't know, but they're certainly going to talk to a lot of people on that team.
And I suppose, we don't know if anything was said or not, but if it were, maybe this wasn't the first time. Maybe some other people will talk about this referee or something come forward.
Hadn't heard anything about him and how he's called games in the past, not yet.
Okay, Sean Rabb, thanks.
All right.